We've got, it looks like it's 4th down and 6, okay? 4th and 6, and they are in a, what appears to be a scrimmage kick formation, but a field goal, or attempt to try. Well, this is a field goal, scrimmage kick formation. Looks legal. Here we go. We've got a kick. All right. And we got some stuff that is happening here. Kicker lines up. Call out contact, ball, this or that. So we're asking ourselves, is this a touchback? Is this roughing the kicker? Is this an illegal bat? It's all of them, or it's none of these. It's none of these. And if there's something else where it's like it's one or the other, just pick the best answer. Give me your best answer. Bill, what do you got on this?
Well, I went with the touchback. We've got a kick that it was touched, muffed, whatever. It was never possessed, and it goes into the end zone. So by federation rules, it's dead. As far as roughing the kicker goes, I couldn't tell any better whether somebody was blocked into him than the referee could, because the referee is just about standing on top of the kicker and holder. So his mechanics, I would question. He needed to be back quite a bit to get a better angle on people coming through. So I just went not knowing. I'm not saying it's roughing. I don't know. So I just went touchback.
All right, you went touchback. Mike, I'll go to Mike first before I go to Robert. Mike, what do you have?
Same as Bill. I was so uncomfortable before you started playing it. That referee was right on top of the play. So he's not going to have an opinion because he's not going to see that guy coming from the other side. I don't know who hit the kicker, whether it's that guy or the blocker or what. So yeah, but definitely the touchback. And as far as bat, I can't see what they were doing over there. I love an end zone view.
Yeah, exactly. An end zone view would have been nice. All right, Robert, just give me what you thought from what you saw. Then I'm going to walk through it. Then we're going to go back to some of the comments because we got about 31 people who have participated now. What do you think personally, Robert, before we talk about what other people are saying?
Definitely the outcome of the play was a touchback. That one part was easy. Roughing the kicker element was suspect. And that one was one when I was leaning into the computer many times to determine if, in fact, he was blocked into or what happened. But it was difficult to notice.
There's a couple key points here, and then I'm going to listen to Robert from the viewers, and then I'm going to probably go back to Bill because Bill's been a referee for a long time, and he may have an opinion on it and may not. All right, so yes, the referee is way too close. Okay, from a mechanical standpoint, we already talked about it, but I'm walking it through. Right, the ball's tipped. I don't know if you see that. It's hard to tell, but the ball is tipped by the person who is rushing or who's making a play on the attempted block. The ball's tipped right there. That's what causes the ball to not get in the air. It was tipped, and then we have contact. Okay, so now you have to ask yourself from a rule standpoint, does that change what we're going to do potentially on a roughing the kicker call? Or number 44 on the right side, is he pushing? He's still in contact. Did he push that player in? That was brought up by both Bill and Mike. They said they had some trouble seeing it. But these are all things that we have to consider when we are making those determinations if we're going to go roughing the kicker. First thing, was the ball tipped? Does that matter? Second, was the player pushed into? If you've got yes for one, no for the other, yes for the first, or no for the first one, but yes for the second, or if you got yes both. Now, the result of this play is a touchback because this is a kick. This is a legal kick in high school football. As soon as that ball crosses the plane, nothing happens in high school, as this is a legal kick and it becomes a touchback. So I'm going to bring in Bill again here real quick, talking about from the standpoint of ball being tipped. As a referee, you're going to I know this referee didn't have the best side, but if you got that tip as he's going in, are you giving leeway? Can you still call roughing the kicker? What do you got?
Well, technically, I believe the rule is that the person that tipped the ball is the one that can have the contact. First of all, obviously it was tipped. Many times we don't know. So if it's all in that same timing or coming through, you're probably going to give a pass to anybody and anyone who has the contact there,
Yeah.
unless the guy came from somewhere totally had nothing to do with the tip. But you give that benefit of the doubt. I mean, it's the kicking team that's created the mess, not the defense.
All right. Sounds good. Mike, I'm going to give you a shot at the push, the blocking. If you've got somebody who blocks somebody into, then are we good here? Or if I mean, how are you going to we got nothing, right?
Yeah, I actually give the safe signal when a player is blocked into the kicker so that the coaches know, I ruled it, I saw it, and there's no roughing on this play. I'm going to
Mike,
give the
I
safe
love that. I saw Scott Novak in the NFL do that, not on a similar play. He went to save. I think that's a great thing. Real quick, Bill, I know. Did you ever do that? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I would use that. I'd point right at the player and give that signal. And I like the way that Mike said it, is that saying, hey, I saw it. It isn't like, well, I was thinking about it. I didn't know. You're pointing at it and saying, hey, there's no problem here with this contact. Your guy got pushed. Your guy pushed him in. So
yeah, I think it's a great thing to do. So I recommend it. We recommend it here. Not necessarily approved, but I think it's a good way to communicate. So personally, going to what Bill said and what Mike said, it's a mess. It's a train wreck. There's who touched the ball. There's two defenders there. If I can't be 100% sure who touched it, then to me they both touched it. And one of them got pushed in from this film, the way it looks like. One of them got pushed in. The other one might have touched the ball. We're not going roughing the kicker on this one. This is not roughing the kicker. We're given a tip sign and a safe sign, kind of like what those guys were saying to let everybody know we saw it. We're not ruling this that way. I believe that this should have not only been a touchback. This should not have been roughing the kicker. So gonna go to Robert now. Robert, what are the viewers saying? Anybody have questions on this or disagree? Go for it.
Yeah, we do have viewers' comments, and thank you, viewers. We have a couple things. I want to narrow down to a couple. One is we need to have an official recognize the tip, and with the umpire underneath the goalpost, then we have to understand who has the responsibility to recognize the tip and the mechanic of signaling the tip. That's number one comment by a viewer. Secondly, was an observation by many viewers about the wing throwing their flag. Was the wing throwing their flag for illegal formation? Because it didn't look like they had, essentially enough players on the line of scrimmage. But needless to say, those are the comments coming in from the viewers, Tim.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, if that's the case, actually, I'm going to let this play out, and then we'll move on to the next one, just so everybody can see. And like I said, I don't really care what the officials call on this when we do this type of stuff. This is for us. But you can see there's a ref. He's calling roughing the kicker. Okay, so just so that there's no confusion on who called what. He called roughing the kicker. That's what the flag was for. Like I said, we're not necessarily worrying about what other officials call. This is for us to get better.
Should someone be taking the goal line on that scrimmage kick that's challenging the plane of the goal line?
Yeah, that's where it's when we do this mechanic, if you're working a mechanic where the umpire is back, so you've got a back judge and an umpire underneath, you should have a wing there. Just because I got the other play ready to go, the other wing started to move there. One of the wings, one of the flanks, whatever, they need to move there. That's their responsibility when you're working a referee with two wings and then the umpire and the back judge underneath. That's their responsibility. They should get there because this does have implications, whether that was a bat, an illegal touch, or whatever it might be, because the kicking team, I believe, did touch the ball, even though we were talking about which way did they push it. It doesn't matter. That is an illegal touch. It is a spot that is important, but in this end, it just ended up being a touchback, so it all negated itself in the end. So, but it is good. You do need somebody to be there.